guys with just money and power, and it happens everywhere. It happens in the corporate world. I understand.
Yeah, but these people are mentally
everywhere.
ill. They're mentally ill because I could have all the money in the world. I ain't doing crap like this.
No.
You know, and somebody's like, well, they're bored. I'm like, you're bored, so you're going to hook up with a 16-year-old child? Like, I've been bored many times in my life. That's never once crossed my mind. I'm bored several times a week. I never think, let me find a 16-year-old.
When I'm bored, you know what I think? I go, I'm going to go upstairs and play GTA 5.
Oh, I'm going to go do some push-ups, you know? Let me figure something out, you know?
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Did I need any extra motivation coming into the season? No, I don't. I wouldn't. I'm not going to give anybody in particular credit that they're motivating me to come into the season. It was a unique circumstance, something I wasn't having experienced before in my playing career. But I'm a believer that everything happens for a reason. I was coming off a championship, the highest of the highs, and cover a 2K, a new contract, and then that happened. And whatever the reason is, I haven't figured out yet, but I am a believer that everything does happen for a reason.
What the hell was that?
Welcome to the Probably Wrong podcast. Tony, Mike, Dave. Sports talk, usually gone wrong.
Yeah, that's our name.
That's our name.
But we're here again, so to give some more outstanding takes.
And you know what? We haven't been that wrong lately. I feel like a lot of things we cover with.
But they're all wrong.
They're all wrong?
You know what I mean? Like, you have a week where you listen to these guys.
Oh, everybody.
Listen to everybody, and you're like, oh, wow, that guy knows what he's doing. And then the next 3 weeks in a row, you're like, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know? It's entertainment.
Right. And realistically, when you listen to, like, sports talk radio, they're never right either. They don't know any more than the common guy at the bar. No. They really don't. They pretend like they do. They really don't.
And that's what it is. Just my rides in the afternoon or in the mornings, because that seems to be all I listen to lately is talk radio. It's just enjoyment. That's all. Like, I've stopped getting frustrated over what these guys say.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't match my opinion. Because
Correct.
That's all it is opinions.
Yeah.
We're all in it.
I don't know. I'm facts over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Davey Facts.
Facts be damned.
Yeah.
So, we're a week from last show. We touched, as we ended, on our guy. Well,
Not my guy.
Yeah.
No, that was
I never
wrong.
hung out with him.
Let me bring this back, So, we touched on on the guy of the moment.
On Dave's guy, Mr. Facts.
Sean Puffy Combs. Now, I know we're going to get to Week 3. We're going to get to last Thursday, the Pats, the Jets. We're going to look ahead to the Pats and Niners. Dave is all ready to talk his Bruins. We got Celtics Media Day. We got a lot to get to.
Sweatshirt on.
But this Puff Daddy thing, wow.
I haven't been following it all that much, so I'm kind of excited to hear, because I know you like to do deep dives.
Oh, yeah.
You got a notebook? You got a pen? I'm not prepared. I don't
Just
really
so
know
you
what's
know,
going on.
It's
I have
not
a diagram.
He's got a Zen diagram.
It's not Puff Daddy anymore. It's P Diddy.
I
mean, come on.
As he's
Get
been
it
called
straight.
in court, it's Sean Combs.
Sean Combs. Yes.
Sean Combs.
All right.
But man, I just can't get over, in this day and age, like, you saw what happened to the Epstein situation, right?
Yeah.
Everybody eventually gets caught.
Oh,
When you're
no. He got caught. The people didn't get caught.
No, but I mean, but Epstein
got
was
caught.
like the mastermind
And
behind it.
Jazane Maxwell, his
And
chick.
it's
Yes.
who not enough people are talking about. She's the handler, the one who set everything up. That's just been like,
She's like our Dave DeShulo.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. She just sets everything up for the show.
Lock that guy up, Mr. Facts.
But it's just crazy to the brazenness of this guy to keep these things going, and the people that keep showing up. to think that you're going to get like.
I don't know much about this, so I'm excited because I see what you got going on over there, and I want to hear it.
So what I went, okay. Now you look at Sean Combs, and to me, I'm like, this guy from where he came from, like he can't be the mastermind behind this. Like somebody had to teach him, right?
Teach him
like how to hide things, what to do, like how to set things up. Like you had to.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, so I started looking through things. I'm like, there's got to be somewhere along the line of something connected, some big billionaire that he kind of looked up to. And I found him. I found a guy. Let's just, hypothetical situations. A gentleman by the name of Ronald Burke.
Ronald Burke.
Ronald Burke is a billionaire. He's a owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay.
I forget the name of his company, but I'd have to do a long research to explain all the money of how he got his money. Now, Ronald Burke and Puff Daddy became friends back in the day.
Ronald Burke,
right? Because he was helping an aspiring artist, an aspiring mogul. Like he's the man that helped fund Sean Combs' clothing line. Sean Combs wanted him to be a part of his clothing line. Now, Ronald Burke is also connected to Epstein.
Okay.
Was mentioned hidden in his black book.
Okay, so this is starting to make a little bit of sense.
Also good friends with Clinton, and there was a big conspiracy of why Ronald Burke gave Clinton $15 million back in the day.
Woo! These Clintons are dirty.
Now, Ronald Burke and Clinton had an airplane, and that airplane was Air F1, and it wasn't Force. Rhymes with... Air Fuck One is what they call it.
Well, that doesn't rhyme with anything. Air Yuck One, maybe?
Oh, crazy. And they were, and there's all kinds of speculation of the parties that they would have on these airplanes. And that it was crazy.
So this is bigger than Monica Lewinsky.
And multiple, Diddy used to have these parties at Ron's house.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. And then... as I'm, trying to dig with this, I find another prominent actor that's connected to both these people.
Are people chiming in right now? Because, if I'd be I'm kind of like...
And his name is Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, I did see something about that.
Is it Ashton?
Kutcher.
Ashton. Yes, I mean, then you start reading, so I fall down the wormhole of Ashton Kutcher. Find out that he's made a ton of money with his company behind Uber and Airbnb, and then you look to find out that he's partnered with Ronald Burke.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's crazy.
I did see an interview.
That's on here, too. Go ahead.
You do? Okay.
Go ahead.
And they're asking Kutcher, about some of the things that went on at these parties, and he it's funny because he looks up and he's like, nope, can't tell that one.
Can't talk about that. Can't share these stories.
I'm just fishing through all the stories to see if I could find one that I can talk about, and he struggled.
So this is the music industry. This is Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
this is pro sports.
I have a couple prominent ones.
All right. Let's go.
But then you look down the Ashton Kutcher line and find out his good friend from that '70s show, Danny Masterson, that's spending 30 to life behind jail for raping two young girls that he lured to a party. And then I was reading stories of them two betting about Ashton Kutcher, he's dating whatever with Mia Kunis, and he was at 19 and she was 14 at the time.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rabbit hole leads to, Jay-Z, who looks to maybe implicated in these. Usher, they were scrubbing Usher in Pink's.
I saw Pink deleted every post she had on social media.
Oh yeah, this is just a mess. And then I'm reading the amount of celebrities that are this guy took videos of everything.
Diddy.
And I guess one of the ones
Diddy. That was a question.
Yes, Diddy.
He did.
Yes. Did he? Yeah.
Yes,
and
he did.
I guess there's a lot of stuff about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z thought this was his place to go unwind, not realizing that he's taping everything, and the stuff with Usher. Oh, man.
Unwind. Go grab yourself a snack. You know, you're a billionaire. Why are we messing around with Diddy?
It's just, and he kept video, and that's the thing, and the FBI has. And that's why I guess the things there was a story the other day that Jay-Z had the double deuce, had to meet with the criminal attorney to start coming up with a game plan, and then also with the divorce attorney because Beyonce's leaving him.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So this is, I hope it all comes out. It's not going to come out. It's going to get hidden. P Diddy's going to be the fall guy. They're going to try to kill him in jail. They're already saying P Diddy's not eating in jail, and he's not eating because he's afraid they're going to poison him.
So the thing is, right, with the Epstein, I mean, that was all, he kept names in the book, right? Russell Daring, are we pretending Brady was not? Listen, Russ, there is not an actor and a prominent athlete that was not at these parties.
I'd like to think I'm a good athlete. I was never there.
They're all, like, you hear, you know, I don't get off subject, but like Eminem and these other guys coming out, like dissing them, and 50 Cent. You had to witness what was going on or have very close contact of what was going on to know.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is you could have gone there and been, whew, you know what?
I'm out.
I'm out of here. But you know what? You were there and kind of kept quiet about it till now. Now. Now, all of a sudden, everything's prevalent. Now Eminem's going to speak up. You know, granted, 50 Cent's been running his mouth about this a long time.
Yeah.
But really, you weren't. I mean, you were just
right.
kind of using it to sell yourself, to keep yourself. I mean, where was the...
Or maybe he's got other close friends that are kind of connected too, and he didn't want to talk, you know, maybe he just wanted to out Diddy and not maybe some of his buddies.
Now, I've also heard there was non-disclosure things that were signed when people went to these parties.
Forcing him, and that was one of the things I was reading with Usher has an NDA.
Yeah.
So, but it's just, so what I was getting at previously with the Epstein's Island is, so there was like a black book. There wasn't at the time all the cell phones in the videos.
Correct.
I mean, there are some, but nothing implicating a lot of these guys. There is videos implicating graphic things with a lot of these celebrities.
Wow.
And a lot of these musicians.
Do you think we're going to get it? You think we're going to get...
But the thing is, the FBI has it. So that's where I'm like, what are they going to do?
And all of a sudden we're trusting the FBI?
Yeah. No, I know. But...
I mean, yeah, they have a lot of things that, you know, they just kind of sweep under the rug.
And that you're going back, and like his son was recently, well, I don't know how recent it was, but it was showing off one of their basketball courts that was all soundproof padded with beds in the basketball courts where they said they would have their naked 5-on-5 tournaments.
What? Now, a friend of mine was talking to me, and she's like, well, this is what happens when you're rich. I'm like, no, these people are sick. I could win $800 million. I could win the Powerball. I ain't doing crap like this.
No.
The only thing I'm doing is paying for an Uber for Dave on Saturday night. That's it.
And Russ, I agree. People have these things everywhere. I understand that, you know, but we don't know about we don't know the consensualness is not a word, but you get what I'm saying of these other parties. And I'm not condemning. There are all kinds of people who have orgies and sex dungeons and all kinds of stuff.
It's fucking gross in my opinion.
And that's one thing. But
but they have to be of age too.
Yeah.
That's part of like the sex trafficking with kids that are younger.
Consenting adults.
Yeah, consenting adults. It's not my thing, but whatever, do what you, but when you have children, you're all getting locked up.
So let's pump the brakes on the. I'm not trying to save grace or anything on this man, but I don't want to say children because there weren't any documents of actual children. But they do have sex trafficking. But they were at the age of. They were still young. They were still like 16, 17.
That's fucking
I'm not saying I know, but when you say children, it makes it sound like there was like 9-year-olds.
No. But sex trafficking is part of the. It's part of this case, right?
Yes. And that's more of the fact that I think just taking people across state lines. So if you take people across state lines, no matter what, is considered trafficking.
So when Dave brought me to Providence,
and
he was
Dave
trafficking me? I've been trafficked?
And drugged you up and oiled you.
Yeah. That was weird.
That's sex
I was
trafficking.
all slimy when I got home. Dave, what's that all about? You trafficked me. Don't do that again, please.
Nope. But that's just...
Keep it in the state.
Yeah. I mean, I just fascinating. And it's also disappointing because, you know, not just growing up, even now, it's not like I look up to these people, but I enjoy things about certain actors. I enjoy things about, we'll just stick with Jay-Z's music. I enjoy these things. And then to see this crap just unfold, it's just like, I think last week you said it perfect when you were just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awful.
It hits you like, I look at the Aaron Hernandez thing. I was like such a huge fan of that kid.
Yeah.
And after what, like seeing him come out in cuffs, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It just hurt. Yeah. And like you're seeing that some of the names that are popping up, you're like, really?
No, you
They're
look at it.
Disappointed in this.
Like growing up, Bill Cosby. I remember every Thursday night sitting on this floor right here with my parents watching the Cosby Show. I loved Bill Cosby.
The Cosby Show.
And then you see all that.
Loved you too.
You're like, oh crap. No, that was Michael Jackson.
Okay, yes.
Another guy. I can't even listen to Pretty Young Thing anymore.
Yeah,
that was one of my all-time favorite. No, next time you hear Pretty Young Thing, think when you hear the lyrics, he's talking about little boys.
Okay, I don't want to think that.
And then you can't listen to the song anymore.
I just want to enjoy it. Kelly, another one.
Yeah. You know, all just guys with just money and power, and it happens everywhere. It happens in the corporate world. I understand.
Yeah, but these people are mentally
everywhere.
ill. They're mentally ill because I could have all the money in the world. I ain't doing crap like this.
No.
You know, and somebody's like, well, they're bored. I'm like, you're bored, so you're going to hook up with a 16-year-old child? Like, I've been bored many times in my life. That's never once crossed my mind. I'm bored several times a week. I never think, let me find a 16-year-old.
When I'm bored, you know what I think? I go, I'm going to go upstairs and play GTA 5.
Oh, I'm going to go do some push-ups, you know? Let me figure something out, you know?
Yeah, and Dwight Howard, too, being a whistleblower. And for the longest time, the thing about Dwight Howard, before you go on about him being a whistleblower, is he kept his mouth shut for the longest time until there was too much proof about him being homosexual. And then once that came out and he realized I'm free now, they don't have any dirt on me, is when he started to bark a little bit.
Right. He was known for having sex with transvestites.
And men and yeah.
Okay.
And full-blown men. There are talks about him too in some locker rooms trying to force himself on other guys.
And then once that came out, like you said, he's like, all right, they have nothing else on me. It's already out, so I can say whatever I want now. You're all going down with me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's now playing in Taiwan, I believe.
Yep. Taiwan, still relevant. I mean, he's Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, and he could play in the NBA, but the NBA is like, we don't want this guy here.
Yeah,
because he's still, I mean, he can't be a backup center in the NBA. Come on.
100% he can. You watch him dominate, and granted, it's inferior talent. I shouldn't even say it's inferior talent, because there are some big guys over there that can play.
But he's an athletic freak.
And he's still running his weight.
Yeah.
Just look at him on Dancing in the Stars.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Look at the size the man is and the moves that he can do.
I mean, the Boston Celtics can't use a backup center that's 7 feet tall, can rebound and block shots. Come on.
100%. But like you just said, the NBA doesn't want that.
Boston, they're anti-gay.
Leave it to Dave.
Yeah. Mr. Fact. That's a fact, right? Mr. Fact over there.
Racist city, and they don't like gays.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say.
But it just boggles me how somebody can be. I just to think in this day and age that you're untouchable. In this day and age where they want to tear you down, to think that you're untouchable.
Maybe he knew a lot of the right people and he thought it'd never get to him. Probably, right?
Well, that's how Epstein was. He thought he had all the right people in his back pocket.
Well, he had the president, right? He had Clinton. That was his boy.
But that's the thing. It's like when you have all this power and you're going to piss somebody off.
At some point, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you look at like the mobs and stuff like that. And I will even say it like some street gangs and stuff. Like once you get that power complex, eventually you're going to piss somebody off. And that person's main goal now is to take you out.
Yeah. And just think of like a normal friend group. Like you have a group of like 5 friends. Eventually somebody pisses somebody off, right?
So we have a comeback to your anti-Massachusetts.
Who's it from?
Our governor is a lesbian.
I just said Boston. The city of Boston's anti-gay.
I don't think it is anymore, Dave. I think at one point.
Why isn't Dwight Howard playing for the Celtics?
That's not to do with Boston.
Yeah.
Dave.
He should be a backup center. I mean, we're out for Zengas for a while. Al Horford's 115 years old. I'd love to see Dwight Howard.
We're going to shut Dave's mic off.
Yeah.
You know what? You're on punishment.
Mr. Fiction.
But, yeah, it's just... I don't know who's going to fall next. You know, when you look at the lists and you're seeing everybody, you're reading people lawyering up, and I'm like, what... I mean... like I know your first thought is once these people start to lawyer up, you're like they're guilty, but then
not all.
Exactly, because if I'm innocent, I'm lawyering up
Yeah,
because I
like,
need to
hey,
protect my name.
I don't want to get caught in this crap.
You know? Yeah,
It's not
it's a
that
mess.
Dave,
It's
you're
not
on
that they're-
mute, Dave.
Dave, aren't you
Yeah.
you're muted?
Yeah.
It's not that they're guilty and they need to lawyer up, but they were. You guys are killing me.
Dave, take a timeout. Hit that button again, please.
No, I mean, if they have something on them, though, I mean, most of the people they have. That's why they're lawyering up, because they do have something on them.
No,
I'll
I
tell you what,
agree with you there.
Let's be honest. If you were selling crack out of this house, I'm not going to lawyer up. I come here once a week, but whatever. Like, what are they going to do? I don't do crack. I don't sell crack.
Well, that depends. If there was a raid right now and they came in and busted him, we'd go down with them.
Yeah, but would I lawyer? I guess I should.
Might have to.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mike.
I don't see the need for it.
what they're busting me for, Dave.
Huh?
You're muted again. But, yeah, Bob brings a point. He's talking about the Diddy interview with Conan O'Brien, how he was talking about what makes a good house party. And my reply here is almost everything that you look back on now that Diddy said, especially now you know what he's implicated
Makes
for.
sense.
It's cringeworthy.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, like one of my favorite clips I see all the time is the Mike Tyson when they're both sitting on the couch and Mikey puts his hand on Mike Tyson, grabs his hand.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of people give Mike Tyson crap for being an idiot sometimes, but he played that off good because he didn't sell Diddy out. He immediately was like, "Get your hand away," but like made notice to the bling.
Yeah.
You know, and Diddy immediately was uncomfortable, but I was like, man, Tyson did that so smooth. And I'm like, that's what he does again.
But now when you watch it, you're like, oh boy. This...
But now you know.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
he knew Diddy was a creep. Get your hand away from me.
yeah.
But he didn't call him out. Like, he played it smooth back then.
Right.
You
Or
know?
as smooth as he could.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, I like Mike Tyson. I feel like he's somebody that, as he's gotten older, has kind of like matured in a way.
Yeah.
Like, he's not as crazy as he once was.
Oh,
and
he
he's
can still fly off the handle.
Yeah, but you can tell he's more at peace with himself now than when he was fighting, because he was out of his mind when he was younger.
Oh, yeah. Nope. He's, I think he's got a good PR team around him and grown up.
Yeah.
And
good for
really
him.
got
Good for
some
him.
huge damage
Because I like him
control.
more now than I did as a fighter. I wasn't a big Tyson fan as a
Oh, I
fighter.
loved him. I loved
I
Tyson.
wasn't a Evander Holyfield guy.
No, I loved watching his fights.
Oh, I loved watching the fights, but I always wanted him to lose. I wanted him to lose.
Win. Never wanted him to
Yeah.
lose.
I like the quick knockouts, too, like a minute and a half.
It was great. No.
Michael Spinks, 91 seconds.
Yeah,
Yep.
the hard punches was just, I love
Right,
that.
Beast.
Then you see Ryan, speaking of boxing, Ryan Garcia calling out, oh my goodness, the name I just lost it.
Well, you're not getting any help from us.
So what happens, Ryan Garcia was in a fight a couple months ago, won the fight or lost the fight, I forget, but then the fighter called him out for steroids, all this other stuff. Ryan Garcia ended up having to retire, all kinds of other crap. But now Ryan Garcia is showing pictures of like, hey, you know, you can say what you want about me, but look at this, you were partying with Diddy.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So, and that's the thing now. I mean, now it brings a lot of stuff. So, what's the guy who has the all white parties every year with all the celebrities?
I don't know who it is, but Tatum was there.
Yeah, Tatum hasn't been there recently. Past couple of years, all of a sudden he's distanced himself.
Yeah, right, but
like you look at all these parties now and stuff like that, and you're like, what's going on there?
Right.
I thought that was Diddy that did the all-white parties.
No.
Drake? Was it Drake?
No, it wasn't Drake. The name.
Not sure.
It's really driving me crazy now. But he's always with Robert Kraft.
Meek Mills?
No, Meek Mills isn't it? But it's just when you see parties like that
I think
now.
Robert Kraft goes, or Robert Kraft probably has
he
some
definitely
skeletons
does.
in his closet.
That's one of his buddies.
I mean, one of the all-time blunders was him going to the massage parlor. Like, you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
You can't have the massage people come to
Michael
your house.
Rubin.
Michael Rubin.
Yep, he has it in the Hamptons every year. Big time billionaire. But even that, like,
Yeah, it just makes you question things. It doesn't mean they're all guilty of something. It's just like,
yeah, what's
They're,
going
they're
on
all
here?
guilty of something.
yeah, aren't we all?
Yep. So that was my weekly Diddy rant. We'll
I
catch
think-
in as we go.
I think we've been doing the show for about 2 years. I think that was my favorite segment of all time. I really enjoyed that.
Well, it's just like I'd love to see it, but it's not like I just I'd love to see just because it's interesting. I don't like to see it because of all the crap that is involved with it. If that
Right,
makes sense.
but if this is all real, let's watch them go down.
Exactly.
Right?
Take them all down.
Take them all down.
Take every single one of them down. Let's because this
What
crap
happened?
is only going to keep happening. The more people that get off from this, is the more chances that you're going to have.
And
more
not
crap
get
like
off
this.
that way, Dave. Get off with no charges.
What happened to Mike's takes of the week? Thought we were going to do.
They didn't go well, so maybe we scratched
That was
that for a
just the
little
What do
bit.
you mean,
That was
Sam
week
Donald?
one.
Sam Donald's still doing good.
I like Sam Donald.
You know, Baker
that the-
Mayfield.
I like Baker Mayfield.
It doesn't say Mike's takes of the week, and you don't have like
Yeah,
a little.
I think he was
message.
1 for 5.
We do that at the beginning of the year, and then we'll follow up at the end.
Just
Is
mute
that
him
what it
again.
is?
Mute him again.
All right. Takes of the week.
Dave, what's going on?
Once a year.
But NFL Week 3. Let's move it on. Let's get this back into a sports show.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
all right.
You know.
Let's do it.
Let's do the work part.
So Pats versus Jets feels like it was forever ago, and which is a good thing because it was absolutely just disgusting display.
Terrible.
Nobody showed up. It was absolutely awful, and I think we're going to see that again this week against the Niners.
I would say I agree.
You know, and the Niners looked terrible that last week. You had Jennings going off. Who?
I think they.
Greg Jennings? That's his name?
I think they
No.
got up to an early lead, right? And then fell apart.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, it fell apart. I don't know. I don't eat whoever it is.
I want to say Jawan Jennings, but I could be wrong. How about that $30 million Brandon Ayuk? What's he got, 5 catches this year?
Yeah. Man, it doesn't look good.
And Debo goes down, and you're the number one option.
They tried to
and-
feed him that ball over and over again. And he just
Yeah,
Maybe he's not a true number one.
yeah he's not as good as he thought he was.
you saw it that game because even though the Rams were limping into it, that was the guy. That's the only guy they felt that they had to stop because
Yeah.
Kittle was out, McCarthy, CMC was out,
You still don't know his name.
Debo's out.
Debo. Shut up, Tony.
McCaffrey.
Thank you.
McCarthy.
I didn't want to keep saying it wrong.
McNamara. McDouglas.
So the Rams knew they just had to key up and hit him. The only problem is, you know, whatever this first name Jennings
Jennings
really
went off.
stepped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're really going to see something from your Patriots this week because this team is hobbling in to play the Patriots.
Yeah,
And-
but they still have so much more talent than
And
we do.
that's what I'm saying. Like we're sitting here talking, you know, Jawan Jennings.
I thought it was Jawan.
You know what? I got to stop this for a minute here. We've been doing this show for a year. A year with you.
That's the first time he's done that.
And that's the first time that he's looked something up on his phone.
well, now that he's
Well, I
missed the
thought
facts.
I
We've
was
asked
shut
you-
off, so
we've
I thought I
asked you-
had time to look.
Dave, can you look that up? Dave,
I'm not very good
I
at
don't know how
looking
to
this
use my
stuff
phone.
up.
And now,
Internet? What's the internet?
now all of a sudden,
I'm actually shocked that I found back to the page.
Yeah. He's not very tech savvy.
No, not at all.
I just think it's just really going to show how bad this team is when you have a team like the Niners coming in, limping in here, who just blew a
No,
game
we're
to the
going out
Rams.
there. We're
Well,
going out
I
there.
just mean
Yeah.
limping into the matchup,
Okay,
Tony.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
And they're still going to make us look like
Oh,
what the
they're
Jets
gonna
just did.
Yeah.
Because you got Geno Smith tore up this team. You got, and Aaron Rodgers looked like,
He looked like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
you know,
Maybe
now
that's
you
something
get
to talk
Brock
about.
Purdy. It's just like I said last week, guys, and people gave me crap about it. I think you were one of the ones that gave me crap on it. This defense is not
It
good.
didn't look good the other night. The only thing I could say is it was a Thursday night. And a lot of times teams get banged up on Sunday. They don't recover well enough for Thursday. So a lot of times on Thursday we do see sloppy matchups.
Yeah.
The defense needs to come out and look better, especially because San Fran doesn't have all its weapons. I still think we get killed, and I'd like to see Drake May play half the game, and then maybe insert it into Game 5 against Miami. That's like my goal for this weekend.
Yeah.
Is hopefully we're down 20-3 at the half, and they say, you know what, let's go with Drake May. We're not moving.
I
the
don't
ball.
see. Here's the thing. After what I just saw the other day, in this offensive line,
Yeah, I'm not sure I wanna
I'm
see him
back
up
to my
there.
original statement. I'm flip flopping back to my original statement. Where I don't want to see Drake May at all because he's going to get killed. He's
He
going
was
to get
getting killed.
But I'm just mean it's
One
it's,
series.
It's not just physically getting killed. It's mentally.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ruin this kid.
Right, but
You don't want to Bryce Young him?
Yeah.
Well, Bryce
exactly.
Young sucks. That's completely different. When I see Drake May, he's got a much quicker release than Jacoby Brissett. When I see Drake May, I feel like he can process what's going on with the defense so he can get the ball a little bit. And it might not look pretty. He might take some hits, but he did move the ball down the field. Here's another thing to think about that people aren't even talking about. You heard it here first. These receivers are not getting the ball. If these receivers aren't getting the ball, you don't know what you have for receivers. These receivers can't even develop. So if Jacoby Brissett plays the whole year, we have seen nothing out of these receivers. We don't even know who, if any of them are NFL quality. And we need to see these receivers play. We need to see them catch passes. We need to see them grow. And that's not going to happen with Brissett because they're just simply not getting the ball.
And to your point, I first off, I 100% agree with you there.
Hey, how do you like that?
What I don't like, right, is game 1 and game 2, you had a game plan, right? Whether it was good or not, you had a game plan. You beat the Bengals. You took it to overtime against the Seahawks. You had a game plan, and that was it. Now you listen to these guys, Douglas, start to pop off. I'm not getting the balls. You come out against the Jets, and you immediately change your game plan. You start throwing it. You're not running the ball. It's like, what are you doing? We said it every week. You're a high school offense.
Yeah. I kind of like them doing that with this team because that's all we are.
No. The high school offense part of run, run,
and then open it up and then
not come out what you did the other day in 7 straight. It's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. And he can't hit his receivers.
No, he can't.
He can't find them.
No.
He's instantly looking for the check down,
Yes.
the tight end, or run.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got 3 seconds to make these decisions, and it seems like in the one series that Drake May had, he made those decisions a lot faster.
Quicker.
And whether he did it at the line of scrimmage, which is great, so he's reading what's going on, or he's just that much better than Brissett already, it's a good feeling to have. But the fact that they can't block for him is, keep him on the bench right now.
And that goes to Bob's point here. Is you're right. The play action, there's no need for it. The line can't hold up for play action.
No.
Yeah.
You fake the handoff and you get in tackle.
And the quarterback's getting lit up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this offensive line this is probably the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We had a few spells back in the day, but we always had Dante Scarnecchia and Belichick. They would figure it out because we had some rough times. But right now, I have no faith in these guys figuring it out.
No.
Nothing.
And I think it's going to look even worse come Sunday.
Yeah, and imagine if we have an injury or two. I mean, we've had a few injuries, not like anyone good's getting hurt, but if David Andrews or Wendell gets hurt,
David
then
Andrews.
it's like, oh boy, now we're really screwed.
I feel bad for David Andrews. I mean, that guy's a fantastic center, and he's got nothing beside him to help him out. So it's going to be a long year for Brissett. And if they play May, which I'm honestly in favor of, if Brissett gets hurt, throw Joe Milton in there. Don't kill Drake May right now.
So the other night, I was a little disappointed because I'm like, what are you doing bringing May in now? Like, you got Jacoby Brissett already got sacked 5 times. He's been hurried throughout the game. What are you doing bringing Drake May?
But
this is I'm sorry, Tony. This is your number 3 pick. You need to protect this guy.
Right.
You need to just and getting him out there and sacked twice in 2 drives and getting nailed.
1 drive.
There's no need for that.
Yeah.
You know, Shake Milton should have been the guy to come out. What else you doing with him? Like, what are you doing with Shake Milton? If you're not going to throw him into situations like that to protect May, get rid of him. Bring Zappy back.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Well, if they had Zappy on the roster, that would make more sense where he would be the technical backup.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Drake May breaks a few plays. It kind of makes the defense back up a little bit.
But what are you gaining from it in that moment? You're not gaining anything.
No, but I'd like to see him gain a little bit of experience. I'd like to see him connect with
Then you know
some
what
wide
you do?
receivers.
You know what? You do exactly what Andy Reid did with
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. My brain wanted to say Jalen Hurts. You sit him all year, and then he came in
Week 17.
Week 17 and played the whole game.
And was
then
a
you
stud.
saw what you got. You know, he actually came in the week before. Remember, in the 4th quarter, took over for Alex Smith. The game, I forget if it was out of hand or not. He came in, he looked awful, and then they started him the next game, and he didn't look like Patrick Mahomes. But you're like, oh wow, I think they have something here. That's what you do with Drake May. Let him sit all year and have him come in the last 2 weeks. Don't throw him in garbage time against the Jets, who are lighting you up defensively.
Yeah, but I want to see him in a hostile environment. Like, get this
Next
out of
year.
the way
Next
now.
year.
So next year, we can maybe go out and win the 7 games that Paul Connors wants.
Now, did the defense play that bad against the Jets?
Yeah.
Because
what did they stop?
24 points for the entire game is not bad when you're on the field 80% of the time.
And Aaron Rodgers was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not great. Don't get me wrong. They're not great, but they're not horrible either. And like we talked about before, any defense that's on the field 75, 80% of the time.
They weren't on the field
eventually it's gonna
75,
get-
80,
Yeah, if you
80%
go
of the-
back and look at the
Dave, the Jets were scoring so
Time of,
quickly that the
they only
offense was
had-
going back
they had
out
3
there.
touchdowns and a field goal. That's not.
Get on the phone. Find the time of possession.
It
Now
wasn't.
that you know how.
It wasn't 42-3. I mean, yeah, they got beat up, but
They started running the ball, trying to get the hell out of there.
when your best player right now on the Patriots is your punter,
It's pretty good.
And
he is pretty good. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and Bob supports our thing. His Rodgers in the offense went into kill the clock mode halfway through the third.
And I
And
get
the defense,
that, but
yeah.
still, they spent so much time on the field because Brissett couldn't get first downs, and you're punting the ball. It's going to kill anyone.
But it was from the start of the game, Dave. It
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
like the
of
defense
course.
wore down in the third and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
it was
well,
from the
it's Aaron
start of the
Rodgers,
game.
though.
Yeah,
it was
Aaron
Geno
Rodgers.
Smith the week before.
Yeah, Geno Smith's pretty good too. but we had that game won. We had that game
And
won.
your defense let him go right down the field.
You take away the 70-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf on a broken play by the defense, and his numbers didn't look that
So
great.
is it going to take this week Brock Purdy and nobody to come in and dismantle your defense again before you finally go like, wow, this team doesn't have a defense?
They're going to dismantle them with a running game and Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings was a guy that
A
had
backup running back in a
Juwan Jennings
fourth
was a
string
guy
wide
that
receiver.
played great in the Super Bowl. Was great for them in the playoffs last year.
Let's
And-
slow down with the great. He was
and he-
serviceable, Dave.
And he sits
Did he
behind.
throw a touchdown pass? That was him, right?
It might have been. He sits behind Debo and
Ayuk
Ayuk.
and Kittle, even though Kittle's a
Right.
tight end.
And McCaffrey.
And
now
McCaffrey.
that
Well,
he's getting his chance
McNamara.
now, and he's shining. So,
So he's probably pretty good. He'd probably be our number one. He would easily be
all
our
right.
number
So
one.
who do you take Gonzalez and put him on? Ayuk or Jennings?
It doesn't matter because Gonzalez hasn't been that great.
Not great, but better than average.
Okay.
He's been
I
better
mean,
than
what?
average.
Wilson caught every one of his targets in the TD that he was on him with. And everyone makes a big deal going, oh, wow, 5 targets for 5 catches for what? Minimal yards in a TD. That's not great.
The TD was a perfectly thrown ball, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was on fire. And Zolak was even talking about, he's like, I think that's the best I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers look.
Yeah.
Control the game, very composed. Everything was like
But he hit-
right in the receiver's hands.
He has to right now because he really didn't look great the first couple of weeks, and everyone started.
But the
talking
fact
about,
that he has it in him,
But
that's
he
like,
took it.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what I said to earlier in the year with Mike's takes, is that he's going to hear the noise, which he openly said, and he wanted to come out and say, I can still throw the ball. Everyone was making a big deal that he couldn't throw for 300 yards. You mean to tell me that wasn't on his mind that game? That's the kind of guy Aaron Rodgers is. That for one season, he can be like, you know what? Play screw you ball. That's not something that can carry on for a couple seasons, but for one season, Aaron
it
Rodgers
could.
can do that.
He's a top 5-ish quarterback of all time.
I agree.
I
And
think-
you
I
get
think-
Drake
I
May
think
calling
right
him the
now-
greatest of all time.
He's pretty good.
I think right now he's when playing like that. I mean, he's still. I think he's
Elite.
still the best quarterback in the league as far as
Pure
quarterback.
passer.
Pure passer.
And he runs pretty well.
his
He's
throwing,
great.
I mean-
Everybody hates him as a person, and they translated that into he's not a great quarterback.
And he's only won one Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah,
And
that
he's
does hurt him a
choked
little
in,
bit. Yeah.
And choked in multiple
Yeah.
NFC
Right,
Championship
right.
games.
But on a game-to-game basis, he could be as good as anyone out there.
Yeah, give me
and
Aaron
anyone
Rodgers.
that's played in all of football history.
The problem is, you know where people don't say that? New England. Because you guys were spoiled for 20 years of Tom
You
Brady.
guys, you live here too.
But I was not a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
But I get that from you guys because you guys had the greatest quarterback of all time. Other than that, everyone else sucks. I had Chris Chandler, Jeff George.
I like Jeff George.
But I'm just saying, like,
Drafted number one out of Illinois.
You
by
look
the
around.
Indianapolis
Wait, you
Colts.
had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
You look around and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
lot of great quarterbacks.
I think the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, what Aaron Rodgers did Thursday night, Tom Brady has done consistently in the playoffs.
and
that's the difference.
But that's
you
what's-
can't play much better than Aaron Rodgers
No.
did Thursday night.
And that's what. But still, as a New England fan who had Tom Brady for 20 years, I get it why you guys flick your nose up and go, "Oh, you're never going to see it. You're never going to see it again." I mean, yes, you have a great version of it right now, which you guys still crap on with Patrick Mahomes. You can't enjoy what he's doing. You got to crap on it because, God forbid, he wins 5 more Super Bowls, which take forever. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a typical New England fan.
No,
yeah.
you're not. And I give it to Dave. Neither of you two are, and that's why it works. Way we could talk about a lot of this stuff with an open mind instead of being like, no, this guy sucks, that guy sucks. No, these guys are actually pretty good. You get Tom Brady, you get 5 or 6 other guys, and then these guys are all still good. Only one guy can win the Super Bowl,
And
Tom Brady was the
Mahomes,
best.
in my opinion, is right up there with him right now.
Yeah.
Right now. I know-
Mahomes is the best improviser I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He makes anything happen out of anything.
Yeah.
Going to the ground, he's throwing the ball an inch off the ground and completing a pass.
He does things that
I
Tom
mean,
Brady
just-
could never do.
No.
Sorry,
mean-
Dave. Facts.
All right, let's go around, because let's go around the rest of week 3
Week
in the
three.
NFL. And one thing I want to get back into, I think it was Bob that made the comment
Bob.
earlier about 0-3 teams nowadays. It used to be a death sentence, but I think 0-3 is not what it used to be with the mediocrity throughout the
Yeah. You can get in at 10-7.
Because they were just making a big deal. I forget what I was listening to, and they were like, I forget which team right now is it the Bengals?
Bengals are 0-3.
Like they're done. They're not done anymore.
'cause if
not
you
not
get
in this
in
day and age of NFL.
If you get in at 10-7, that means they have to go 10-4. I could easily see them getting their act together and going 10-4. Right? So 0-3, like you said.
That's a team I don't see getting their act together.
Not after what I just saw this week too.
No, but maybe I was using them as an example.
Yeah.
But we just saw, I mean, what is it, recency bias, we just saw it the other night. I'm like, how could you let that Washington team abuse you the way that they did? And this is a Bengals organization and team right now that is in a downward spiral very quickly. And I'll give
and
it
there's
to you.
a few teams that are. I mean, that like you got on the list there, the Jags.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be an up-and-comer this year. Like, this was maybe the breakout year for Trevor Lawrence. He's terrible.
Terrible. That's another team that's got an awful offensive line, though, too.
Yeah, awful.
Like, these
I
guys,
mean,
they have some weapons out there. It's pointless to have the weapons because Trevor Lawrence doesn't have time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
the Cowboys can't stop the run to save their life.
No. Let's get before we go running down this. Let's get back to the Cincinnati Bengals game because what is driving me absolutely crazy right now is Jaden Daniels. 2 weeks ago, the big thing was all these rookie quarterbacks suck, right? Not just saying here in this show, but if you listen to it, everybody sucks. No one's throwing a TD. This class is
no
awful.
one was great. Yeah,
Jaden Daniels comes out 2 nights ago,
Has
an unbelievable game, and it's like all of a sudden these guys never said that.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is great. Jaden Daniels, look at his completion. Nobody was saying that.
91%.
Yeah, that's the
Nobody
media
was saying
for
that
you.
the week before.
That's the media.
Let's
They're
pump the
horrible.
brakes. Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels, I loved him last year in the draft. It's on tape. I forget. I think you might have as well. Jaden Daniels was the guy I wanted. If you don't get Jaden Daniels, I said trade away that pick. Left tackle, trade away that pick. Jaden Daniels is the guy. But even I'm like, it was one game
Yeah.
against a horrible Bengals defense.
It's still nice to see, though.
yeah,
right? It's still nice to
It
see.
is nice to see.
And he made some beautiful passes.
He did. Yep, 100%. But I'm like, you know what? I'm the kind of guy, I got to see that because a lot of these quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, have looked good. And then you come back and you suck.
Yeah.
You come back the next year and you're like, where did this guy go?
Right.
My always standard is I need 2 years of consistent play.
Yeah.
I need, before I start going, all right, this guy's good.
Yeah, because Mac Jones had one good year.
And what happened to him?
Bob, that question was coming. Just so you know,
So
that was in my head.
What the real question?
Where's Bill end up?
He wants to know where does Bill end up
Well,
coaching next
when we
year?
were talking about the Bengals, I don't think he ends up there. But if the Bengals end up going 1-5, guess what? You got to fire your coach. Dallas Cowboys. If you end up going 1-4, guess what? Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat.
But see, I think the only guy I see spending the money to pay Bill and to really bring it in is the owner of the Jaguars. Jaguars, Jacksonville.
I don't think he goes there. I think he waits.
No, I think it's a crappy place for him. But there is talent there. But I'm just saying is that guy will overspend to bring him in. You saw what he just did for Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And Urban Meyer was awful.
And he's probably still paying Urban Meyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 100%. Yep, and Mac Jones at the end of that game. I don't know if anyone else saw it. I know. I put the clip up on our page. Immediately threw the ball to the end zone.
Talk about
the other end zone.
Not being able to process the defense and what's going on. How about Philadelphia? What's their record?
They are 1-2. Yeah,
because that was a Belichick spot potentially. Yep. So, and that's a very solid team. I think it might have just
saved his job again with them coming back and beating the Saints and kind of shutting down Kamara and this. Everyone was running their mouth about how good New Orleans was going to look.
Yeah.
And then,
but if they're 2-5, they have a relationship with Belichick already. That could be a potential spot.
That's a team that
could be a dangerous team.
I like Philly. They have a lot of weapons. If they can put it together, I think their coach so far has ruined that team because 2 years ago they were, like I said, a quarter and a half away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And
that coach comes in and just completely destroys this team. Completely changes the game plan around. I mean, what last year brought in, who was our old defensive coordinator that was our offensive coordinator,
Patricia.
That was the Lions coach, brought in Patricia, and completely, that team went 8-0 to, would they lose how many in a row?
Yeah, they lost them. It was the relationship, too, with Hurts and the coach was terrible. Sirianni.
Yep.
And I can see them getting rid of him just if Hurts continues to kind of struggle.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been great either. Saquon Barkley has been really good. That was a huge pickup for them.
They took away what made Hurts good. Is that they let Hurts, that first year, basically run that offense. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pass, and he looked great. I mean, we were all raving about how good he looked in the beginning of that Super Bowl. And what you did is you said, all right, now I'm gonna come in and change everything. Instead of go with what just works and tweak it. It's like when these coaches come in and be like, no, I'm going to make this my own.
Yeah.
And you ruin it.
Yeah.
And, like we've seen that before with Josh Allen, who's now all of a sudden this year looking pretty good.
I always liked Josh Allen.
3-0 that team, man.
And talk about making some great throws.
Yeah. Granted, they were playing that Jags defense that we're crapping about, but man, they looked good.
Whatever. You make a great play, it doesn't really matter what defense. No defense is going to stop you on great plays. So, they look good.
Like
I
said
very,
before,
very good.
Addition by subtraction, getting rid of Diggs.
Yeah.
And now he goes to Houston, and Houston's sputtering along.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out. I said that. You want to crap Mike's takes? I said that earlier. You bring in Diggs, you're going to have trouble. They were already talking how they're going to fit in Nico Collins, how they're going to fit in Tank Dell. Is Stroud mature enough? Is Stroud mature enough yet to be able to spread that ball around and keep people happy?
What was the
and
need
not
for
feed
Diggs?
Egos? I don't know, but you just saw it this last week where Diggs, they were feeding Diggs, and you got Nico Collins and Tank Dell. You're like, what are you doing? Yeah. I mean, maybe I saw it more because I play fantasy and I have Nico Collins on my team, and I'm like, this guy's open. Stop throwing it to Diggs.
Yeah. The benefit of not having a diva receiver, you just spread the ball, kind of the way Brady used to do.
Yep, but you have too many. I mean, you have too many wide receivers. Because you have a diva receiver in Minnesota, and he's the only guy. So Sam Darnold is just going to keep him happy.
But if the Texans didn't have Diggs, then he could spread the ball out. I mean, this league is filled with diva receivers.
Yeah. But when you only have one of them, like with Sam Darnold, it's easy to keep him happy.
He's also so much better than Diggs.
I love to come on every week and talk about Sam Darnold now.
Yeah. It's funny. It was his rookie season. I remember listening to a Pats game, and the Pats ended up killing the Jets. And listening to Zolak talk about him, he made a few plays, and Zolak goes, "Oh, this guy can play in this league." And we kind of forget about the few plays that he made that most people can't make because remember I'm seeing ghosts and I'm confused by this defense, and then all of a sudden it's a rough spell in New York, and then he gets cut, and then he's with the Panthers, and then he's with the 49ers. He's still young. He's still young, and he's a guy that can move. He's a guy that can throw, and
he
you watch him in the
obviously had
locker
the
room.
talent.
He's got some fire in him too. It just took him a little bit of time to develop.
He needed to go to the right team, and he found the right situation. He's got a former quarterback as his head coach, and then that defense is playing unbelievable for Minnesota right now.
Yeah.
Another Patriots former coach.
They look great. They're fun to watch. Aaron Jones has been a huge part of that team. You got a great running back who can catch the ball. You got Diggs who can take the ball. I mean, and their one of their other main targets is due back in a couple weeks. Their tight end, Hutchinson.
Yep.
Probably destroyed that name too. But
Yeah.
that team can be scary.
Yeah, and then what if Sam Darnold kind of is the real deal, and that you got J.J. McCarthy that
just sit and wait.
Wait.
I mean, that's a kid that he's losing out on his rookie season. So if he has to sit another year because Darnold turns out to be the real deal.
If Darnold's the real deal, you got to sign him and then trade McCarthy. I mean, Darnold came in as the number 3 pick overall, and he's still young.
I just think you keep McCarthy.
Keep McCarthy on the rookie contract.
I mean, you got him.
Let him go. You got him under control for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you get an early second round pick for him.
But these are the stories that I love about the NFL every week. I love the crap happening in the Raiders right now, the organization. It's just good to see the Andy Dalton story. We sat here last week and we were talking about Andy Dalton.
Carolina looks so bad with Bryce Young, and then you put Andy Dalton in, and all of a sudden they look like a really good team. You get 3 touchdown passes out of him, over 300 yards.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a quarterback can do for your team. I mean, Carolina has been talked about like just awful, god awful, with Bryce Young for 2 years, a little year and a half, and now Andy Dalton steps in. They look like they could be a playoff team.
Well, Bryce Young can show with women what can happen to you.
Yeah.
Don't pick the wrong chick.
Because that guy is, if these stories are true, with him being that fragile, that his girlfriend left him for Tyrese Maxey, and you are now just destroying your career because you can't focus because your girl, you lost your girl to Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Weak. Absolutely weak. So weak.
God.
It's just...
And if you know you like that, don't date. Don't date until you're 30 years old and you've made $200 million.
Right. Don't let your girlfriend go hang out with 6'4", multi-$100 million men that play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Or just
probably
don't
didn't
date.
have a choice.
Focus on football. Make your money, and then when you're 30,
stuff.
you got plenty of life left. Then hit the dating scene, which is which is probably not great in 2024.
No. People who have done it right, if we want to segue a little bit here, segue out of the NFL.
Derek Jeter.
No, I was going to segue. Yes, that's another one. But into our Celtics, who had a great media day the other day. And you get guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Oh, we're not going to talk about how Derek Jeter slept with all of New York and never really got caught up in any of them. And then he waited until he was retired to get married.
Yeah.
That's a great move.
Smart man.
Smart man right there. I think that's what people want to hear about. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Don't let them get in your head. Right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We can talk about the Celtics.
Stay in their head.
I got the sweatshirt on.
But it was just great to hear these guys talk. I mean, this team... Listening to all of them in Media Day, not only did it seem like they were having fun, but it's like they all had the same agenda. And it wasn't this soft stuff. I mean, yes, I played the clip to start the show. Tatum got a little bit long-winded there, which I understand. But it's like, man, Jaylen Brown, like, taking the questions head on. Even Tatum with the USA stuff, like he played it smart, but he let it be known of the aggravation. Missoula, the things that he was saying. Listening to Derek White. Like, these guys, they're in sync. They're bought in to each other, which is scary. Because we all know take any NBA team, basically any team across any sport, and you get a team that plays together.
Yeah,
it's a difficult team to beat.
They really like each other. Brad Stevens did a really good job of not only putting talent together, but putting together people that would get along.
Can I
go?
I'm sorry, I hate when we do this, but Bob Roxburgh, we just talked about the Jeter. He said the gift baskets he gave the ladies in the morning were legendary.
Yes,
I forgot all about that.
And they had to. My friend's cousin slept with Jeter, and she had to sign a contract that she wouldn't talk about it, and she got escorted in. She got a gift bag, and she had to sign like an agreement that she wouldn't talk about it.
I forget there was another athlete who did that. Gave them all like he had a whole wardrobe of clothes, like all different sizes for women.
Yeah.
Sweatpants, like top of the line sweatpants and sweatshirts and robes. Yeah. So in the morning he would send them home with that stuff.
Right.
Get yourself something nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Dude, those are the stories I like.
Oh,
not the
great.
Diddy crap that we started off the show with.
Yeah.
You know?
Jeter's doing it.
That's what we're going to talk about next week. So, celebrities and athletes who have slept around and done it right.
Did you ever see the lineup of women that Jeter slept with?
Oh, it's crazy. It almost matches like the Pete Davidson's lineups.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
And the Leonardo DiCaprio lineup.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're going to put this together for next week.
Yeah,
That's our teaser for next week.
All right.
But, yeah, the Celtics are bought in. I think we're going to have a great run with the Celtics this year.
Yeah, and
I can't wait for basketball.
I hope Porzingis is healthy, because if Porzingis is healthy, I think, we're probably the favorites anyways. But if he's healthy come playoff time,
and you heard him the other day, like he wants to play.
Yeah.
Like he's ready. His ankle feels great. He's going to do the doctors, and I like that too. You know what?
It doesn't matter.
December's perfect.
Yeah,
Christmas Day game.
Porzingis, give us 35 games this season. Just get ready for the playoffs.
Yep.
Right? Just play 2, take 2 off, whatever. We don't really care. Just be there for the playoffs.
Play 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's all we need. That's it.
All we need is a backup center like Dwight Howard, because I want Horford to get some rest this season too. And with Porzingis out, Horford's going to have to play a lot of minutes.
Dave, don't do it. Don't say it. I get the mute button.
Yeah.
Who's Dwight Howard?
Jaylen Brown with the beard shaved off, looking
looking
good.
Looking good.
That guy's always had big arms.
Yeah,
he looks good. He's ready to pound it in the paint.
Yeah.
So
it's good. Good time to be a Boston Celtics
I like
fan.
what they were talking about with Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard when they were. He's like, I don't mean to say anything bad about these teams, but when we played teams like Detroit and like Brooklyn or some of these other weaker teams, is like we let the offense go through Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser. We want Peyton Pritchard to get his 30. We want Hauser to get his 10 shots. We want these guys' confidence built up, because we're going to need that going down the line.
That's a good thought process. Like, who really cares if I score my 25 points? I need Peyton Pritchard to hit big shots.
And you get your stars saying that, that's what you want. And
And looking back, that's why the Patriots won so many Super Bowls, because Tom Brady was bought in. When your best players are bought in, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, everyone follows suit. When they're having issues, like Cincinnati, Chase, right, or whatever, there's always teams with star players that have issues. The team falls apart every single time.
And, there's no egos really on this team. And I know we want to see the edge, we want to see the fire, but I guess one of the things that I liked about Tatum in his press conference is we noticed it in the playoffs last year, and then with Team USA basketball, we're like, what's up with his shot? Instead of him being a typical diva NBA player and dismissing it and saying nothing, be like, you guys saw it. My shot was off.
Yeah.
My shot, I couldn't hit it. I forget what he said, but the way he said it, how bad his shot was when it got to Team USA, and he's been putting in serious work.
Right.
But it's just the mental of these guys to be able to hear that criticism like
self-reflect,
take it and be like, you're right, and I'm working on it.
Right.
Instead of what we see a lot, especially in the NBA.
You got a bunch of pricks.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think Tatum has a chance to be a top 25 player of all time.
Yeah.
And for him to be top 25, he needs to be a little bit stronger. He needs to shoot a little bit better. He needs to be more consistent. But I think he has the talent to be a top 25 player of all time. That's crazy, right?
Well, 1 month, and we'll see him on the floor.
Yeah.
They win it this year, and he's easily going to be in that discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's only 26 years old.
27, I thought,
27?
right? Yeah.
Dave, look it up.
No, he's getting ready. You know why? Because the Bruins hit the ice last night.
Okay, all right.
And his
I'm
boy
out.
Lascelles scored.
He did. Not power play. Wasn't. I mean, it was a great shot,
Yeah.
but I don't think he's playing as good as the team hopes, and I hope. I hope he makes this roster, but I don't know. There's actually some competition on this team. There's a lot of names that are obviously third and fourth liners, but you know, I mean, the guy that came over in the trade for Allmark, Kostelic.
Don't look at me to pronounce
Yeah,
these names.
I don't even-
I keep calling the goalie copacetic.
I mean, it's. I mean, they have their top six pretty much set. Elias Lindholm's hurt, but he'll be back. It's not a major injury. Their defense is going to be great, and
Hopefully we see the big bad Bruins. Because these guys are big boys back there finally, and that's something that we have complained about every year. We are so small. The speed means nothing in the playoffs because we get knocked around, and we finally have some size back there. And I am looking forward to seeing these guys hit.
they're actually on average the biggest team in the league this year. Which
McAvoy is their smallest player.
it's tough because Marchand.
I mean smallest player defensively.
Yeah, but I'm like overall, if their team is on average the biggest in the league, and Marchand is on that team, I mean,
He's gonna look so small.
he's so small. He brings that number down, so they're a lot bigger than what people are used to.
What I like about the NHL, Dave, is I know it's preseason right now. The games don't mean anything, but you're seeing everybody play. Preseason hockey is good to watch. It's fun to watch because you're not seeing. Go ahead.
The Bruins mostly have like a lot of their third and fourth line players playing because they have.
But you're seeing guys that you know. What I'm saying is you're seeing guys that you normally would see on the ice anyways in a game. Like you're not seeing the Providence Bruins out there.
Yeah, but you're like Pasternak and Marchand aren't really playing a ton. They want to see what these other kids like Lysell and Patra can do, and they've, like I said, there's a lot of competition right now for the bottom 6 spots.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing because hopefully that means they're going to be competitive even with injuries. But I was talking to Matt earlier about
Who should be on the show next week. So we're not
Yep.
going to spend too much NHL tonight, Tony. You know, I see you hiding in the cut because you don't want to talk about this. Next week will be our big NHL breakdown preview.
All right, do I have to show up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
yes.
When you want to, you bring NHL heat.
Yeah.
I think we
I don't know if I'm ready next week.
yeah, you'll be ready.
All right.
We got some stuff for you.
Okay.
But
But
Last-
the Swayman thing, you know, Matt was like, you know, that you may not want to pay him that money, but the confidence that kid has and the ability that is there, the talent, it's tough to not get him on the ice for this team.
I don't know.
And
There's rumors. There's a lot of Calgary rumors going around right now.
I heard Anaheim,
Yeah.
John Gibson coming here.
What was the draft picks they were sending? They have the Devils' top draft pick they were going to send here, and it was another draft pick. Two high draft picks they were going to send to us for Swayman.
Yeah.
Which I'm good with. Give me more draft, more chances for Sweeney to screw up.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's sending draft picks to a guy that can't draft.
But all right, before we get out of here, our Red Sox still have hope. 3.5 out. They have to win their last 4 straight games. They need.
Yes.
What a name!
Dick Fitz came over in a trade a few years
That's
ago.
his real name, people. So
Yeah,
people are like his real
Richard
name is
Fitz.
Richard Fitz,
Richard
but
Fitz.
he
Goes-
actually
goes
goes
by
by
Dick.
Dick.
Yeah. Dick
Until when I
Fitz.
heard that the other day on the game, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what?
I remember he got traded. I forget who they traded to get him.
Either way.
Yeah, they got him.
That had to be
years ago.
something that, you know, his friends kind of forced that on him when
Oh,
he
he
was a
must
kid.
love it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he must
with
love
that
it.
in his last
Yeah.
name. But what really annoys me about this team is, yes, they're
Everything.
3.5. Everything. They're 3.5 out, right? We could still get in. But this year, if we would have put any money into our bullpen,
Yeah.
we blew this year out of 55 save opportunities. We blew 31 of them.
Really?
31. They were only second to Chicago White Sox, who blew 35 of them.
Wow. I didn't think
That
Chicago
doesn't-
had 35 wins, 35 leads.
That is just insane. That's just blown safe. That doesn't mean we lost the game. That just in the 55 save opportunities, they blew 31 of them. Now we also blew multiple games. I mean, later innings, 7th, 8th, 9th, anything that went into extra innings. I mean to tell me, if you spent any money on this bullpen, we couldn't somewhere along the line eke out 5 more wins this season.
You know what?
I mean, you knew, like, the games in Colorado, those are winnable games. We had no one to close the games. You knew Kenley Jansen wasn't coming in. Like, you knew, like, there were it just drives me crazy.
You figure with a good bullpen, you probably get 10 more wins from where you're at, and you're in the playoffs. You're not fighting for a spot.
You had 31 games that you had a lead and could have won.
Right.
And now I know you're not winning those 30. I mean, I'm sorry, it was 55 games. You lost 31 of them. But in that 31 games, if you spent, I mean, even if you didn't want to go the bullpen route and you spend some money and brought in your guy Montgomery, something like that.
Bring a starter, move Whitlock to the bullpen. Maybe Whitlock doesn't get hurt. Like, who knows? Or maybe Tanner Houck is I mean, I like him as a starter. Yeah. Obviously, he pitched pretty well this year. But, you could have brought in another starter and kind of forced somebody to the back end of that bullpen. They just didn't put much money into this team. I think this was a let's see what we have season. I think next year is going to be a let's see what we have season.
And this is a season that you could have got squeaked in. What were they saying? 86 wins.
Yeah. And even if they do squeak in, they already shut down Devers for the year. He's done. Yeah, so it's like, what's the point of even getting in now?
They're not going to spend on their bullpen this offseason. They're not going to spend anywhere.
No. They have Liam Hendricks next season. Jansen's out as a free agent. Liam Hendricks, but you don't know what you're going to get. He's coming off Tommy John. He had cancer a few years ago. He's doing well with the cancer, but he was a premier closer. But first year out of Tommy John surgery, you don't know what you're going to get. But they're going to be like, well, that's the guy we have. And I'm like, come on, dude.
No, it's just ridiculous. It's just
going to be much of the same.
Like you look at it, and they will. Watch. They're gonna make it interesting. They just won 4 straight. They have we play Tampa Bay, which stinks. We got one more game against Toronto. They could easily win these 4 games.
I'll tell you what. One thing about this Red Sox team that I do like is they got a bunch of ballsy baseball players.
Cassis the other day.
Cassis 3 bombs. Tyler O'Neill likes to play. Trevor Story's actually been pretty good since he's come back. He's on my fantasy team, so I'm looking at his stats. Cedane Rafaela's had a good season. Like, you got some like it with Jaron Duran plays hard. You got some good talent here, but you need to bring a star or two in.
Starters have pitched well
enough. Like you just need to supplement them with
Unfortunately, I mean, you got your offensive players, your defensive players that are playing really well, and then you got your starting pitchers who, for the most part, they're not all pitching great every night,
but they're keeping you in games.
And Dick Fitz has been awesome since he stepped on the mound.
So, well, that's the Red Sox minute. And you know what? I know I just said that was the last thing I wanted to touch on.
But we got one more.
We got one more. We have the WNBA.
All right.
And what the hell? I mean, obviously none of us watched the WNBA before this year, before Caitlin Clark. What the hell is this round 1 of the playoffs 3-game series?
That's what they do, a 3-game series.
You win 2, you go.
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark, right after the show, they're on game 2. If they lose tonight to the Connecticut Sun, her season's done.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know what the next rounds are. I hope they're not 5.
I think it goes to 5. I think 5 is the longest series in the WNBA playoffs. But I don't
this guy can't name 5 players, but he knew that.
Up until this year,
I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Yeah. Up until this year, nobody really cared, so they're like,
No. And it's because I did try to watch that, I'd say that Caitlin Clark game the other day. It's still not a good product.
No. And these are like in Connecticut's a good team. I believe they're ranked 3rd. They're in 1st for most of the season.
There was this one play. They go down there, Caitlin Clark passes it, and they have 2 easy layups. They miss both of them. Connecticut goes on a break down the other end. They airball a layup. They get the rebound. They miss it again. Finally, Caitlin Clark just says, screw it, and takes it to the hole. Has a great reverse put up and slam to the ground.
Yeah. It's YMCA basketball on TV.
It is. But like some of these other girls, like our girl Mandy Mallard in New York, Sabrina, looked great. I sent you some clips. I mean, that girl pops the shot. You just
need a little bit more talent in the league. You know, every team is probably 2 or 3 good players short from making it look like something we want to watch.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't watch that whole game. I just couldn't. I was just frustrated with I'm like, guys, you're in the playoffs. Why are we airballing your layups?
Yeah. And
but it's not just one, consistent.
Yeah, and it's tough when they go on like a spurt back and forth with just terrible basketball. They seem to do it every game where it's like just 3 minutes of crap.
I was just figuring now that we're in the playoffs,
and
maybe we weren't going to see that.
Yeah, they still see it.
But all right. So everyone, make sure you tune in next week because we will have celebrities. That are top celebrities that can sleep around and not get caught.
Yeah. Oh, so celebrities that know how to play the game.
Celebrities that know how to play the game will be next week.
Right.
You know.
Matt from
Yeah.
MP.
Speaking of celebrities that know how to play the game, Matt will be here.
Matt from MP Sports will be here next week. So
hopefully
tune
his
in.
wife doesn't hear that.
We'll see ya.
Sorry.